Hey guys, it's Hunter and welcome back to another video. So today I've got the pleasure of taking this PRS SE Standard 2408 out for a spin. And if you've been on the fence about PRS, or if you're looking for a versatile workhorse that's a bit different than your standard options designed in the 1950s, stick around. You'll want to hear about this one. Let's take a closer look. So PRS is one of those brands that I never tire of. If you consider a lot of the classic guitar designs, a lot of the design choices were made because of the technology they had access to at the time. The nitro finish, all those 50s colors, Daphne blue, Fiesta red, surf green, shell pink, burgundy mist. That's what cars use. Those were car colors. Electric guitar was just starting out. Leo Fender wasn't gonna get custom colors mixed. He was gonna use what was available. PRS, by comparison, is a much younger company. It was founded in 1985, and guitar design choices have been, from the beginning, much more deliberate. Which brings us to this new for 2022 SE Standard 2408, and huge thanks to PRS for sending this guitar over for us to check out together and for sponsoring the video. So first off, let's talk specs. Mahogany body, maple neck, and a rosewood fingerboard classic combo. It feels great. PRS has been pushing this 2408 platform lately, and it's easy to see why. You take their staple double cut shape, you give it an ultra versatile electronic suite taken from their private stock line, and you've got a guitar that plays great and sounds great for anything you need it for. At least that's how PRS frames it. Really, it's just making both pickups splittable, which isn't so special in itself, but it's the way that PRS does it. You have two mini toggles, each corresponding to a pickup, so you can split them individually or set and forget. So if you're like me and you like split neck tones and a full bridge, flick the mini toggle up like this, and then that's how the guitar is set up using the three-way switch. Very simple concept. Love it. Now, as I said, the 2408 has been around for a while. It started as an option with their highest end private stocks, which are all custom built to order. Its popularity led it to become a staple of the core line before it was introduced in an SE custom version last year, which I absolutely loved, by the way. That Ariza Verde green is awesome. It's beautiful. And at the time, I called it the best mid-range workhorse of 2021. Like, it is a premium guitar at an affordable price point, and they've made the feature set even more affordable with this SE Standard version. At launch, it comes in tobacco sunburst and translucent blue with matching headstocks, no maple cap or figured veneer, which is how they've managed to retail it for $200 less than the custom. Classic bird inlays, I love these, and I guess to make up for no figured top, they've bound the fingerboard on the Standard, which looks really nice. More on that later. The SE Standard 2408 uses PRS's wide thin neck shape. Now, if you're not familiar with PRS guitars, a lot of them look like dad guitars with the tobacco burst finishes and everything. The thin neck shapes are actually really fast. This is much thinner than a 60s slim taper, for example. The feel of the neck is also remarkably similar to the pattern thin neck on my PRS Tremonti 10 top, which is built in Maryland and retails for a lot more. And that's not a knock against the core model at all. It absolutely plays like a high-end custom shop guitar. What I'm saying is that the SE astonishingly captures most of that feel in a much more wallet palatable package. It's not like what Epiphone does, for example, changing the rounded profiles to weird D shapes on their Les Pauls. The main difference I found between the wide thin on the SE and the pattern thin on the core is that there's less shoulder on the former. You know, the thickness is the same, it's just the shoulders are less round. Now, understand I'm just trying to articulate the slight difference in feel between the two necks, because I just so happen to have the two to directly compare. In terms of real-world experience, though, I mean, these are very similar. The bigger difference between the two is in the fingerboard edges. The 2408 has decently rounded edges, and the Tremonti feels out of the box what the SE will feel like after a couple more years of play. And that might have something to do with the binding. In general, I feel like Indonesian factories have made leaps and bounds in terms of quality compared to what they were doing just a few years ago. One quirk, I guess, is that they're much better at doing rounded fingerboard edges when there is no binding. So that's the little trade-off. This guitar looks awesome with the bound fingerboard, and as comfortable as it is, the rounded and non-binded fingerboard edges on the SE Custom 2408 I tried were on a completely different level. And bear in mind, these guitars were from the same factory. Moving on, tuning stability issues are something that I used to run into pretty often with SEs, and if you go to the forums and the YouTube comments and stuff, I was definitely not alone. There aren't that many complaints about the line. That was one of them, though. The old nuts were made of cheap plastic, and you pretty much had to factor in a nut upgrade with the older models. For the most part, though, they seem to have sorted that out with a new synthetic nut material. It can sometimes be a little wonky with the shorter scale length models, pitch drift everywhere, but for the standard 25-inch scale length models, like this one, no problems. So playability and reliability are both key parts of what makes a great workhorse guitar. The last is a versatile tonal palette, and the standard 2408 brings all of them to the table. So these pickups are listed on PRS's spec sheet as TCI-S humbuckers. TCI stands for tuned capacitance and inductance. S denotes that they're import versions. Now, the more I look into this, the more it kind of confuses me. Alright, so according to Paul Reed Smith himself, in top-level layman's terms, the capacitance affects bass frequencies, inductance affects treble frequencies. And they apparently found a way to fine-tune the balance and therefore the resonance. Alright, so I guess I understand that. What I guess I don't understand is how they're actually utilizing the technology in the lineup. Like, what exactly is the TCI set, and how does it compare with the classic 8515 set? Are they fine-tuning all their previously existing pickup sets using the TCI process? Like, is an 8515 set that you get in a guitar today tuned differently than an 8515 set you get prior to the introduction of the TCI process? And if so, in what way? And are all TCI branded pickups the same, or are they fine-tuned to match the guitar they're going to be put in? From previous statements, it seems like it's the latter. The Silver Sky JM 635s are TCI'd, for example, but then it goes back to the question, okay, so what exactly are TCI branded pickups then? Like, what are these TCI-S humbuckers? Good question! Anyways, best not to think about it, because the pickups sound great for both cleans and gain stuff. They're particularly crunchy. There are better pickups for modern high gain, but a lot of those don't sound great for the other stuff, whereas these are fantastic all-rounders. Something that TCI has done, though, is that when you split the pickups, there isn't a massive volume drop, there isn't a huge spike in noise either, and these actually sound like single coils. So basically, while some guitars use a million different pickup configurations as a marketing gimmick, all the configurations available here are actually very musically usable. Inside the guitar, here's the wiring job. Components don't feel cheap, connections are pretty clean. I'm not worried about the reliability here at all. One small nitpicky point, I've been pretty vocal about not really liking the look of these mini toggles. As I mentioned in the intro, PRS guitars are known for being very deliberate in all their design choices, from hardware to aesthetics. And on the SE, with the flat top shallow violin carve, it kind of looks like an aftermarket mod. I understand why it's been done this way, to individually split and set the pickups, and I really enjoy being able to keep the neck permanently in split mode, but it kind of looks at odds with the rest of the guitar aesthetically, and I can't help but feel it would have made for a much cleaner look with two push-pulls instead. But anyways, if you're on the fence about PRS guitars, this is the one you should try. Well, this or the SE Custom 2408, whichever you can find in your area. The pair of them are just very impressive. What we have here is the best balance between versatility, classic PRS feel, and bang for your buck. Personally, I think that the extra $200 is fair for the better rounded fingerboard edges, plus the crazy nice Ariza Verde color on the Custom, but if you're gonna play the crap out of it anyways, the Standard is a great jumping off point into the world of PRS guitars, and trust me, it is addictive. If you're already a PRS junkie like I am, you know what I mean. The guitars feel great, and they're just so reliable. If you're looking for your next all-rounder workhorse, it doesn't get much more honest than the Standard 2408. And PRS's SE line, because they generally don't use name brand hardware electronics, all the emphasis goes to build quality, and tier for tier, they run slightly more affordable compared to other brands' import lines. You know, weirdly enough, PRS guitars don't make for great videos on YouTube. Like, I know sometimes it's entertaining to just shit all over something. That's the YouTube meta, and yeah, I don't really get the opportunity to do that with PRS. Damn you, Paul Reed Smith, for making such boringly reliable guitars. Alright, so if you're new here, you may as well subscribe at this point. You made it all the way to the end of the video. You can also take the bell for notifications, that way you don't miss any new uploads from me. Shout out to my wonderful patrons for making this and all the other videos possible. They're awesome. Consider joining them if you want to support the channel and get bonus extras. Social media, Discord, and affiliate links are in the description. As always, thank you so much for watching. You've been awesome, and I'll see you for the next video.